Last November, a piece of open source software called OpenClaw went viral, and within a few weeks it had been downloaded hundreds of thousands of times and led to a run on Mac minis as people rushed to buy a home for their AI agent. People weren't buying them to browse the web, they were buying a second computer to run AI models on, quietly and next to the PC they already owned. That moment is the clearest signal so far we've seen that AI computing on the PC is no longer an incremental feature story. It's starting to change the shape of what people think a PC is for, and in some cases, how many of them they need. So, the question I want to put to you today is whether the PC is becoming one device that gets smarter or something that splits. Let's start with the get smarter side, because that's where really all of the volume is. Omdia forecasts that 50% of PCs shipped this year will have an NPU, rising to 78% by 2030. These are the primary human-operated PC that most of the industry is already shipping. It's an ordinary laptop or desktop that comes with an AI accelerator. Some workloads can be run on device, some reach to the cloud, and much of what is delivered is through third-party software rather than through the operating system. It's also worth noting that the steepness of this adoption curve has a lot more to do with silicon product roadmaps than it does with actual user behavior changes. So that leaves a genuinely open question for the industry. Omdia's original definition anchored on the presence of an NPU, but it's increasingly unclear where the right demarcation line sits. Memory capacity, memory bandwidth, and the software stack on top all matter as much as a dedicated accelerator when it comes to actually running useful AI workloads. The line will move, and OEMs should be thinking about where they want it to land. The second type of scenario is newer, and it's where the user behavior is actually running ahead of the category. Prosumers, developers, small technical teams, and enterprises are buying second machines purely to house models or agents. These products aren't being bought because they're branded as an agent computer. They're being purchased because they're component boxes that can run a model. So for anyone planning SKUs, that is a useful distinction. Users are buying for the task and not for the badge. So let's go back to the question that I opened with. I don't think that this is a clean two-way split, and I don't really think it's a spectrum of usage either. What I see is that users are choosing hardware by the workloads that they want it to handle. The AI-capable PC is becoming the default primary device, and the secondary device is emerging as a user behavior before it's emerged as a branded category. This is also the scenario with the biggest opportunity to expand the TAM. If prosumers, SMBs, and enterprise buyers see the value in a dedicated second device to house an agent, then that's genuinely additive. But it's also the biggest open question. The macro outlook, compounded by memory and storage shortages that are currently pulling the PC and other tech markets down, is exactly where the story has to start, grounded in the market reality. We're closely monitoring how this trend develops, and get in touch if you want to know more.